He wants to explore ways to let non-citizens vote in city elections. Is this the right time for Los Angeles to go down this path?
Well, I think we need to explore it. Now, I've not seen exactly what he's calling for. I have a little familiarity of what happens in other cities. And for example, some cities will allow people to vote in like city council and school board elections.
There you have L.A. Mayor Karen Bass now open to the possibility of non-citizens voting in local elections. Let's bring in conservative commentator Alicia Krause and one of America's former great TV news anchors with her D. Sarton YouTube channel coming up with new content this week. D. Sarton, welcome to you both. Alicia, to you first. I mean, let's allow citizens, non-citizens to vote in city council things. And then if that works out, then we'll widen to state. And if that works out, we can always go national with this.
For the record, this, of course, is coming from a Democratic Socialist Council
think?
member here in California, in Los Angeles, to be specific. I mean, listen, I don't like Keir Starmer. I can't go to the UK and be like, I'm not going to vote for that. You know, let me vote against that guy, you know, in Parliament. I can't go to, I don't like Mamdani. I used to live in New York, but I don't live there anymore. I can't go to New York and vote in the mayoral race for Curtis Sliwa, or I couldn't. Why are we going to allow this to happen? If you are going to, their argument is, well, they live here, they work here, they send their kids to school here, they're paying taxes too. Then great. Do the full buy-in, become a citizen of the United States.
Exactly right.
And then you have the right to vote.
That's right. Assimilate, get the citizenship thing. We will all sing at the ceremony when you become a citizen.
Love it.
And it will be great, great stuff. D, to you, Spencer Pratt, finally explaining why he is a Republican. Look at this.
When I was a hated reality star, I got so many death threats. I had so much security and police, and what did they tell me to do? Get a gun. This is real. I know people don't like guns, but LA was dangerous if you're hated. So I got a gun. My wife got a gun. And then we needed CCWs. The only people that supported a CCW was the Republican. That was what I aligned with, my safety, my personal safety, my family's safety.
Kind of a vendetta. The Democrats took his gun and they burned down his house, D, and he's like, I'm getting out of that party. What do you think?
Well, it's amazing what real-world problems do for your politics, and I think he's a great example of that. And it's a great example of this new iteration of the Republican Party, not maybe so concerned, or at least talking about conservative traditional values of the Republican Party, but these very practical safety issues, you know, crime, homelessness, frustration over your government not taking care of its most basic responsibilities, like preventing your house from burning down and keeping you safe. And so I think it's just one of those things that we're seeing spread around the country in little different variations. And here's another one.
Yeah, I mean, listen, safety is one of the government's first and foremost responsibilities, and people tend to forget that. Stephen Miller talking about having a first world vision and a third world vision. Watch.
The major political dividing line in America today is between a first world vision of America and a third world vision of America. Do we lock up violent offenders, or do we let them rape and pillage innocent citizens? Do we incarcerate and jail Somali refugees who steal all of our welfare money, or do we empower them to keep stealing? Do we have an open border flooded with migrants from the third world, or do we have a sealed, secure border?
I mean, it's kind of the same theme here, Alicia, right? You have first world countries that focus a lot on education. They focus on law enforcement. They focus on military. That's kind of what we do. And safety for the people in those first world countries.
In first world countries also, there's typically boundaries and accountability when it comes to every single member of society, whether that is you and I as tax-paying citizens, or even those in power in our government. Thank God for the branches that are supposed to have those checks and balances. In third world countries, turns out they don't have that. They have dirty cops. They have cartels running the industry. They have trafficking across the border. They don't have basic rule of law. You saw the quick turnaround in places like El Salvador and even Argentina, that when you do things to govern well, it can help the safety, security, and the economy of the nation. And I think that that's what he's speaking to there.
Yeah. And lastly, Stephen Colbert, his final show tonight. So we took a little bit of his monologue. And yes, of course, he had a couple of one last political jabs here for the administration. And maybe it was subtle, but here's what he said.
Now, on night one of the Colbert Report, back in the day, I said, anyone can read the news to you. I promise to feel the news at you. And I realized pretty soon in this job that our job over here was different. We were here to feel the news with you. And I don't know about you, but I sure have felt it.
Yeah, a lot of the critics, a lot of people on the left think that President Trump is the one that got his show taken off the air. Others that's not. What do you think about the final show, Dee?
The simple answer is he's taken off the air because he isn't funny. And, you know, comedy has always been, I mean, for millennia, a way to relieve tension in a society. It's really played an important role that way. And I think Americans still wanted to think that those late night shows could do that. And then they became this different, I mean, completely different form of humor that I just don't think was very American.
Yeah, it really is. That's the whole thing. Listen, a lot of these guys are talented. We know they're talented. They just stopped being funny because they chose to stop being funny. Dee Sarton, we appreciate it. Alicia Krause, thank you.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.